What's going on, you guys? My name is Marco Phillips. You're listening to Time to Dominate podcast. Let's go. So here's a daunting question. How do millennials like us leverage the internet to recruit 8 players into our downlines, make a massive impact in the world and the income, while having plenty of time for the other things that do actually matter to us? Well, this podcast is going to be answering those questions. My name is Marco Phillips, and you're listening to Time to Dominate podcast. Hey, what up, you guys? I hope this podcast finds you well. Today, I wanted to talk about guilting people to buy, right? I know it sounds like a little, it sounds like, really, you actually have to guilt people to buy? Yeah, I actually first, I actually first kind of grasped this whole concept from Gary Vee. And he was like, man, you know my whole goal, like every 2 years when I drop a book, is to guilt you to buy, because I've been giving you so much value and you've been consuming so much of my content that you will feel bad if you're actually not buying. And I'm like, isn't that interesting? Like, what would it actually take in order to do that, right? It's giving people value up front. In this generation, most of us are takers. Hey, what can I get for me? What can I get for me? What can I keep for me? How can I get all you can and can all you can get? My pastor says that. Get all you can and can what you can get. Like, that's what other people preach. It's like, no. Find a way to be what? Find a way to do the opposite, right? Find a way to actually give and give something of value. So how does this actually apply to us in what I was doing? So, guys, you know, I'm coming up with, now I'm actually working on coming up with a good bait, if you want to call it that, right? Lack of better words, a good bait, so that people will actually find value in it in order to opt in, exchange for the email address, so that then on the back end, I can show them exactly something else that will go well with it. So what does that actually look like? So I've been working on so I created my application funnel. People actually apply to actually join, right? So what I was working on then was like, okay, cool. How can I, rather than just putting out the link out there, just running an ad to it, before you run an ad to it, whatever the case is, or put it out on YouTube or a blog or whatever the case is. Like, how can I actually come up with something of major value that people actually find it's like, man, this is actually really dope. Like, I actually need this, right? So I came up with something, and I thought it was like, okay, man, this is actually really cool. It was actually something about taxes, right? Because I'm huge on like finances. Like, I'm when I say I'm huge on it, like I take it seriously, because I think it's one of the biggest benefits that we actually have in this industry. But most, like for me, like my first 3-4 years, like I didn't even, like I wasn't using all the tools that are available to me. Like, I wasn't capitalizing on my taxes, right? So I came up with a tax bait. It's like, hey, 21 top 21 tax benefits for home business or hustlers or something like that. I think that's what I called it. I think that's what I called it. Or for your side hustle, right? And in it was actually something that I found, man, like, this is dope. Like, most people don't know this, right? So it has like everything that we could use, from like obviously, definitely use an accountant and all that good stuff. But it's good to know, like, your cell phone, if you make calls on your cell phone, right? I more than likely think you make calls on your cell phone or use your cell phone for business. Like, if you have a home office, if you have like, just like things of that nature, right? That you can deduct for yourself, and it comes in like a little nice infograph. Like, you can just really like take a glance at it, and it's like, okay, cool, bang, 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 bang. When it's time to prepare all your stuff, you can hand it over to your tax guy, or if you're doing it yourself or whatever. So I'm like, man, this is actually really cool. Like, because I actually went and sourced the information to use for my own self because I didn't know this information prior, right? And there's all this stuff that I could use, like my mileage, my deductions, and I'm like, oh man, like it was actually a way, and I'll get so much more benefit back, more bang for my buck. And I remember I was using what system was I using? I think I was using QuickBooks Self-Employed. I think it was like $20 a month or something of that nature. And then I switched to TaxBot. And that one was, I think it was just a one time of $100 when they had like a sale or something. So those guys are really cool too. Like those tools of that nature, as I had that in there, I was like, and I showed it to one of my mentors, and he's like, "Yeah, Marco, like this actually looks really good for those that actually want tax kind of advice or tax benefit." And it kind of said it in a way I'm like, "Wait, what?" So he's like, "Yeah, it's great only for those that are looking for that kind of information." I'm like, wouldn't that be like most people that like want that kind of information? Like, wouldn't MLMers want this kind of information? Like, wouldn't people that have a side hustle or side business? So like I don't care if you're like, knitting and selling it on Etsy or at home, or if you're, a small business owner of any sort, or you have a mom and pop shop, or you do something online, or, you're a graphic designer. Like, this is like stuff that you use. Like why wouldn't it? The point was, it was not broad enough. And again, when I tried to figure out like the whole thing, the point was it was not broad enough. So what's the lesson here that everyone can apply? Like, make sure that your bait is broad enough to capture a lot of people. Like a fisherman that's going out for fishing, they don't go with a small net. Like, ooh, this net is specifically for this kind of fish. Okay, only this fish will actually fit in this net, right? You don't do that. They don't do that. What they do, they have a big net and they cast out all this fish, right? They cast out, and inside the net, they get all this fish. And inside there, they'll look for the ones that are, or maybe this is too young or too ripe. They'll throw it back into the sea, right? Or maybe this is not the kind of fish that they want. The point is, it's a big net, so a good bait that's broad enough, they cast out all of this, and because it's a funnel, it kind of self-selects the people that are supposed to be in it, and people that actually go through from one step to another. It kind of self-selects for you. So the point was that I'm like, got that. Okay. Then back to the drawing board. I was so frustrated. I was like, oh my gosh, come on. And that took me a while. Like, you guys, I did the whole bait. I was on Fiverr, got someone on Fiverr to do it. Came out really cool, nice, pretty. I made the whole funnel. Like, everything was set. I was like, hey, let me just get some feedback on this. Like, I was just on a roll. And he was like, yeah, it was great for those that are looking for that. And it was like, yeah, it's not broad enough. I'm like, what? What? Oh my gosh. You see those memes? I sent him back a meme. And a meme that says, bruh. Like, with the guy's head hanging back. Like, oh. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, this took me forever. Like, it took me like a good 2 days to come up with this whole thing. Then the guy on Fiverr, just communicating with him alone was like a whole nother thing. But the point is, do your homework, right? So do your homework now. Do your homework up front. Okay, so you know that, hey, the bait that you're casting, the net in which you're casting is big enough, and let the funnel do the self-selecting, right? And wash out the other people that are not the type of fish that you want, the kind of people that you want, the kind of people that you want to work with in the first place. And then, the ones that come through in the back end are the people you get to work with. So I kind of learned that the hard way, right? So then so what you want to make sure that once, because that is good enough, that value in which you're giving them is good enough, okay, on the back end, there's like, man, because I got so much value, I want to work with him, I want to work with her, right? And that way it's really, really cool. Or whenever it is that they're ready, right? Because you're giving them so much value, you're the one that they come to on the back end. It's kind of like guilting them to join you and then join your product, your company, whatever the case is from there. And so anyway, I hope you guys got value out of that. Make sure you do your homework and your research first. Make sure that when you're actually building out your bait, right? So if it's like a PDF, if it's a book, if it's a download, like whatever it is that you're giving out for free, in order to actually get people to come into your funnel, it's something of good quality that they find major value in. And on the back end, you can tell them more about your business or your opportunity or your product, right? And so it's and that way is really, really cool. And for me, what I actually went to do was I built one specifically for the product, right? We have like the products are amazing. So one specific for the product and one specific for the business opportunity. So they're different ones. But then I make sure I'm only promoting or marketing only one at one time. That way, I know exactly which one got to focus on. But yeah, don't forget, it's your time to dominate. To the top, you guys. Let's get it. Hey, thank you for listening today. If you found value, please subscribe and leave a review so we can reach others like us searching for a better way on how to use the internet to create leverage and truly dominate. How would you like to stop pitching and start attracting your downline on autopilot? If so, head over to timetodominatepodcast.com and grab the free training, and let's go.